Hey guys, I'm Dr. McKee, coming to bring a message to you about sleepiness. So if you're like most people, I would imagine that at some point in your life you've had a significant amount of time that you have had issues with sleeping. Usually when somebody comes to me and they say, hey doc, I'm just super tired, I don't know why. Easiest way to split it up is you think, all right, you're either not sleeping enough, so sleep quantity versus sleep quality. So sleep quality are things like, sleep apnea, super common. Abnormal movement disorders, kicking your legs a lot when you're sleeping, versus sleep quantity, which can be ranging from, just insufficient sleep, which insomnia is the biggest thing. So hopefully I want to talk to you, hopefully give you a couple of pointers today which can help with insomnia. Some of the things that I most commonly see that people are kind of doing that are not the best habits that help them sleep. So there's two different types of insomnia: sleep onset versus not being able to stay asleep. Sleep onset is the most common one. So some things that I always recommend for patients, say for instance naps. Many people obviously rightfully so, they're super tired, so they take naps, but then they find, hey, my sleep's a little disrupted, my sleep's super disrupted, so when I wake up the next day I'm super tired, and then I'm tired that day, and then I nap, and then I can't fall asleep the next night. So the way I always kind of describe it to people is, if you think of like your sleep debt, your sleep drive, your drive to sleep, which is just brought on by your circadian rhythm, by metabolic processes that are developing in the body, is filling up this cup. So by the end of the day, this cup is full, and it's like, hey, your body is telling you, I need to cash in. You fall asleep, that cup gets empty. But what people are doing when they take naps is that cup, say it's filling up, and then you take a nap because you're so tired, but then all of a sudden you're kind of dumping that cup a little bit. So when it comes time, like 10, 11 o'clock at night, that cup's only maybe 3/4 full. So basically you just don't have that sleep drive to really get you to sleep. So that's one thing that can really help people. Some of the bigger things are basically making the bedroom sleep happy, if you will, right? Some people, there's this thing called psychophysiologic insomnia, where you get in bed, you're not falling asleep, and then you get super angry because you're not falling asleep, and when you're getting super angry, then you're getting more awake, and it's just this vicious cycle that keeps happening. So I always say, rather than do that, if you're in bed and you're not asleep within 20 minutes, the best thing is to get out of bed, keep yourself warm, keep the lights dim though, and do some sort of non-stimulating activity. Whether it's, I had a lady that says she likes to knit, so something that's not just going to activate your brain. Read your taxes, read about insurance, finances, whatever it is that's boring to you. Try not to turn on the TV, because you're usually going to find something you like to do. And then when you start finding yourself dozing off a little bit, that's a good time to get back in bed. Other things are really only using the bed for two S's. Sleep, and you can probably guess what the other S is, but just so you know, when you get in that bed, it's time to do one of those two S's, and usually it's sleep. Like trying to watch TV, things like that, it kind of trains the body that it needs that stimulus to fall asleep. The last thing that might be helpful is for people that are super tense and their mind's racing when they go to sleep, maybe have a little bit of anxiety. There's something called progressive relaxation, if you haven't heard of it. Really, the gist of it is you go from your toes to your head, or your head to your toes, and in muscle groups you flex them as hard as you can for 5 seconds, relax for 10 seconds, move up a little bit. 5 seconds of really flexing, and then 10 seconds of relaxation. Takes about 15 minutes, but you do it from your toes all the way up to your head, and the goal is to get to the point where you can just cause that relaxation without having to go through the flexing everything. But what I recommend, do that for 15 to 20 minutes twice a day. Then after 1 to 2 weeks, you move to just basically trying to relax each muscle group at a time. So, and then after like a couple of weeks of that, you get to the point where your body just knows, all right, I can just relax the whole thing. So it's just kind of a process. But yeah, hopefully some of those help. And if you have any other issues, or if you're worried about other sleeping disorders or sleep apnea, or having issues with your CPAP machine or what have you, we're always here to help. So let us know.